Well, here we are. Here we are. You know, Nick Rekieta has been doing a lot of talking for someone who said he's not going to really talk about his case and his family situation. He talks about his case and his family situation. He's getting chummy again with his pal Camelot. And he has some stuff to say about the nanny situation and driving the kids around.
With how much stress, like driving your kids around and like being constantly having to
Shout out to Alyssa Clips for making this a lot easier to get into here.
be at another thing. Is that something you plan to mitigate in the future so it doesn't?
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be that way. I guess now that it's more out from some of the documents, our nanny left in the middle of the.
Yeah, your nanny left. Because, I mean, she's a nanny. She's not supposed to be their mom. They have a mom at home, but you have a nanny. And the nanny, I guess, was taking care of all the kids' responsibilities, right? The responsibilities pertaining to the kids. What exactly was the mom doing? What were you doing, Rekieta? I mean, I don't understand this. Because apparently, according to those court documents, the house was a mess, a complete mess. Man. Anyway, let's continue.
Second half of the school year. And we had to scramble to try and fill a schedule that was made for two drivers, Lady Rackets and the nanny, most of the time.
Hold on here. Is Nick Rekieta really trying to sell me that Lady Rackets was actually driving the kids around? That Lady Rackets was actually being a responsible parent and not just staying in the bedroom, in the bed, watching TV all day? Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think Nick Rekieta started making lots of money. They like that money, and they like the ability to be able to hire someone to do their job. Okay, well, if you have that privilege, you have that privilege. But understand that hired help. I mean, eventually they will quit. I mean, if they realize, man, this is bullcrap. I'm taking care of everything. The house is still a mess because there's all these kids I need to do to take care of. The parents aren't doing anything either. It is just too much. I'm out of here. Boom. Okay. Nah, I don't believe Rekieta. I do not believe Rekieta. Rekieta is also the same guy who's trying to tell us that the drugs found in his house weren't even drugs. He doesn't know what they were. And if they are drugs, he doesn't know anything about that. They're not his. Things like that. They're trying, you know. So, no, I do not believe Rekieta.
And occasionally 3 drivers at the same time. That was our schedule that these kids had because, again,
that means Rekieta. If Rekieta's being truthful there, that means he was one of the drivers. And actually, there are moments where Rekieta would talk about having to drive one of his kids to something. That is a scary thought. Can you imagine Rekieta after doing a stream, drunk on whiskey, high on coke, driving one of his kids around? Not looking good. Not looking too good right there.
I know we're super neglectful parents or whatever, but our kids were just any activity that they wanted to do that we could fit in. So it involved just shitloads of driving to all different places with different kids throughout the day. And you had to have 2 or 3 drivers most days of the week. And you also had to be watching.
It sounds like a nice little story. A little story that you are making up. And if it is true, some of it, if there's any way to it, well, it sounds like an issue, not an ish me. Sounds like a problem you created. A poor just planning.
The other kids needed adult supervision. So sometimes that meant that even if you had two drivers going. If you have the younger two girls home, for example, they need to be supervised, and like I couldn't stream for that time. But our nanny left in the middle of the school year, which was
he probably hates that too. He has to stay at home and watch the younger kids. Probably drinking. Hopefully not doing anything else in the bathroom, right? Not saying hi to Snow White. Not going nose deep into some booger sugar. Wow.
huge blow, and having to replace her with help from friends didn't work out as smoothly, because this was, you go from a person that you pay to do this, who's been doing it for years, to not having that and having to kind of patchwork it in.
Yeah, it means you have to be responsible. You have to take care of your responsibilities there for your kids. That's what it means.
It was extremely stressful, and you don't want to say it.
Being a responsible parent is very stressful. I can tell you about that. In fact, you could probably tell me about your experience, right? We could probably tell Rekieta about all of our experiences, because we actually are decent parents. We take care of our kids. We might drink on the weekends. We know how to control that, but we're not getting like sloppy whiskey drunk every night. Not going nose deep in booger sugar, not inviting all sorts of strangers into the house. Getting caught up in stuff. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I didn't want her information out there. I didn't want people looking for her in any way. She was a part of our family for a very long time. And so like having that all occur.
I wonder, did Rekieta ever try to bone the nanny? I mean, why not? Why not? I'm pretty sure he has. In
the middle was jarring and kind of devastating for us, because it's like, how do we finish out this fucking school year? You can't just rearrange the schedule. It was made in the fall, and now it's spring, and you just have to get through the end of the school year, because your people, like, you can't reschedule piano because they have a bunch of other students. You can't reschedule violin. You can't reschedule choir, drama, band. You can't reschedule these things.
But keep in mind, this convoluted schedule is made because of some homeschooling thing that they're doing. So their church and all that. Okay, look, I mean, I get it. The public school system sucks. It's bad. If you have a choice, the homeschool or go through that, sure, you can do that. But you have to be able to manage that schedule. You're going to have to be a parent about that. You're going to have to take on those responsibilities. Okay? And typically families do that, and there's usually someone, a parent, a mom who's there. I mean, she doesn't work. She could drive all these kids around. She could literally just do it. Drive, drop off. All right. Go back, go get the other kid, drive them somewhere, drop off, boom. Okay. Go pick them up. Ever had kids? You know what I'm talking about, especially if they have kids at different schools. Okay. How do you do that drop off? How do you do that pickup? If you do pick them up, if the kids don't ride the bus, right? You just pick them up. That's what you do. You just drop them off. That's what you do. Maybe you take two kids. You go to this one spot and you go to this other spot. Okay. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Okay.
So you just have to make it work. People are like, well, why don't you just whatever?
Yeah, you make it work.
Dude, we live in a small town.
There
isn't just a bevy of nannies waiting around that you could just grab another one. Plus,
be a parent, dude. Do your freaking job.
We're extremely selective with who's around our kids.
You are extremely selective who's around your kids, bro. April, that Aaron guy, Snow White, like a lot of it. You weren't very selective about that. Were you selective about the police? You're not selective. Drexel, who I would not allow, who should not be allowed around anyone's kids, because he might try to groom them, and wait until they're the proper age, and then, you know. Hey, I know about Drexel's story. Pretty messed up, man.
And so it was, that was, I don't know. It was incomprehensibly stressful and frustrating because it crippled my ability to do things like trial streams and stuff, which I had been wanting to.
But what are you talking about? Because you did that. You did the trial streams, and it didn't seem to have any interruption. This is why this is just a massive cope. This is just excuses. Look at this. Look at this. This is why it's all lies. It is bullcrap. Rekieta is just gaslighting you hardcore, man. All right? Look, remember the Johnny Depp trial? Remember the Rittenhouse trial? Remember that stuff? Wasn't there another trial? But there was he would do them during the day. He did them during the day. What was the problem then? And those trials went on for how many months? Right? Did them during the day. It was, who was taking care of the kids then? Was that just the nanny and the mom? Or was it just that the nanny? It sounds like he really has a problem with his wife not wanting to be a mom. Okay, that's what dude. Of course, he has a problem too. He has a massive problem. And he himself, he needs to take responsibility for his inability to take control of things. All right. Anyway,
increase starting in February, and we got the message from her that she was leaving in the middle of February, and it was like, holy fuck, how are we going to do this? And so you just make it work because you have to. But the people online, you don't want to. Again, there are limits.
Back in February of this year. This year was the most destructive year for you. You're boozing hard and going hard on the cocaine. Bro, I saw the streams. I saw that powder on your nose. I'm not saying allegedly on that. But my defense on that would be like, Your Honor, look at the screenshot. What is that? What's going on there? What do you think this man is doing? All right.
To how much you want to let people online into your life.
Who's this Zealand? This chick right here with that sloppy posture. She's all slumped down to the point to where her breasts are falling. Dude, ladies, do not do that. Have good support, okay? Sit upright. Sit upright. Look at that. That looks horrible. She has a big rack, but they're gonna be saggy. Everybody going down to her knees. Horrible.
Lives and how much that peak impacts people who have nothing to do with it, her included. And so it was like, all right, how do you do that? But yeah, that stress was fucking brutal, man. And if you're like, oh, it's just driving your kids, no. Many of you just drive your kids. The amount and the destinations and the time living out in the country, everything is 15 to 20 minutes away. Everything.
I understand that. I understand that right there, the destination being further. I personally also have experience living out on the county side of things, where things are pretty far. Okay. All right. Yeah. You drive to those destinations. That's what you're gonna have to do. All right. It's not complicated. You know what I'm talking about because you probably have kids, right? We already just talked about that. We did. You load up the kids in the car. Go early. Not too early, but early enough where they can be dropped off, right? You drop them off. All right. Go take the next one. Okay. All right, cool. Or if they're going to public school, they have they have a school bus. They have a school bus. Yeah, there's a chance that some transvestite could like read to your kids and at school or whatever. But you got the convenience of the bus. But hypothetically, if you did this homeschool thing, I'm sure you would be able to figure out how to load up the kids in the car and drop them off at their destinations. I plan to be like, okay, I'm going to go back this way and pick them up. Okay, they'll be done. And then take them up to the next one. Okay. So you're just being a taxi for them.
Thing for every time. So if you have,
that's what parents are for kids
40-minute activity,
taxi drivers in a
15 to 20 minutes of driving, 40 minutes of activity, and then 15 to 20 minutes of driving back.
Yeah.
So when you have kids going to multiple different places, that's how they all go.
Yeah.
And it's
is there any because I have not researched any of this. Is there any reason why the nanny left? I don't, because we've never talked about that. Like, you've never told me.
Because she was doing everything. They wanted her to be like the fairy godmother and just take care of everything, clean everything. And then she was like, I didn't sign up for this. This is nonsense. You got 2 adults in this house. Neither one of them are working. Well, trust me, I'm pretty sure the nanny saw what Rekieta was doing. I was like, I don't think he's actually a lawyer. I think he's more of a YouTube guy. Me,
like, what? Why you had one?
It's really fuzzy. I'll say yes. Obviously, there's a reason that the nanny left. We got one story from her, and I don't think that story was honest.
Got one story from her. He doesn't think it's honest. He just doesn't know. That story was honest, but he doesn't want to believe it. He won't tell us that story, will he? Will you tell us that story?
Right. Because I've seen some other information about it, and I don't want to put her on blast in any way. Like, it just happened. So it was sudden and kind of devastating.
Oh, really? Maybe she was lying. I mean, maybe she said, hey, you know what? I just can't do it. But then she was talking to other people, be like, actually, it was a nightmare there. It was a nightmare scenario. They were wanting me to do everything. Everything. The laundry for the kids and the adults. Rekieta's wanting me to suck his dick. Whoa. Well, that escalated way too quickly. Normally there's a build-up for that, but we're dealing with Rekieta. It does escalate very quickly.
Stating for us, but hey, it is what it is, and you don't really get to like object to the I object. You have to stay. No, I mean, like, someone quits their job, they quit their job, and right. Refilling that role. I mean, it took us a long.
So we don't get that story. We don't get the story of really why she left, other than she said something. He doesn't really believe it because he saw something else. Well, good question. I know this clip ends here, but a good question by Kimmel would have been, well, what was it that she said? But he's not going to press at all because I guess he needs friends, even though he has that chick over there who contributed nothing at all. Her contribution to the stream is 0. Her tits are not even that good. Her legs, she's like 40, right? She needs to stop. Okay. She ain't good. No, that's not. No. She looks like she's in her 40s, like late 40s, like 45 and haggard. Okay. All right. She looks like she already had kids. She looks like she had kids. Maybe one went to foster, into foster parenting, all that stuff, due to probably some coke use. When I see this chick, I'm thinking, yeah, she definitely does coke. She likes to party. She likes to drink. I'm thinking, look at that. I can't really see too well because the mic is over her face, but I'm thinking meth. She's probably done meth before. In fact, honestly, I'm pretty sure she sucked a dick for Crystal before. I'm pretty sure, 100%. Yeah, but that's what I see here. Anyway, yeah. So Rekieta's nanny story is well, maybe you shouldn't put all the responsibility on the nanny. You still got to be a parent for your kids. And all this complaining about driving them around. Well, you make the bed you lie in. So you got to ask yourself, Rekieta, what did you not do that you could have done to help that situation? Oh, it's too late, though. Situation happened. Maybe you can learn from it. Maybe you can move on and learn from it. What do you do now? Well, now you don't have kids. There was somebody else. So now you got all the time. Bright horizons. Yippee.